gets down to the end, God is looking at a sacrifice. You don't think God is watching your sacrifice, but God is looking at your sacrifice. And you got to feel it. When people say you got to feel it leaving, you got to feel the pain of losing a son. What Abraham does, he conflicts with what the argument was with James and Paul. And the argument is what you always tell people and what preachers have said out of context, that faith without works is dead. And so they tell you can't get anything without working to get it. And they said you got to give some effort. It ain't true. It's an argument between two theologians about why God gave salvation. Paul said, I didn't do nothing to get it. Yet James said, no. In order to get blessed, you got to work. You got to give some effort. But Paul said, I didn't do nothing because I didn't know him like that to work. It's not the effort that he gave to get the blessing. It's because he believed. And so James said, well, didn't Abraham sacrifice and show works and give his son? Then he says, how can a man have faith without works? He says faith without works is dead. But Paul said, if I work, then there's nothing more than me laboring and God paying me for what I work for. Paul said he didn't pay me because I didn't work to get it. He said I didn't deserve to be delivered. I didn't deserve to be free. He just did it on purpose. I lost my church. There's nothing I could do to get the benefits of being here today because I've done too much wrong. That my wrong outweighed my good. Paul was killing folk, so it wasn't his good that got him the favor of God. And he ought to thank God that God was in the blessing business that day, that he felt like forgiving folk like Paul, because Paul didn't deserve to be here, just like you, just like I don't deserve to be preaching. It's not my right, it's my favor.
Hallelujah. That's right.
So the argument is, James said that you can't tell a man that he can get favor and don't have no work. Paul said you're wrong. So you can't say faith without works is dead. Because now Paul is saying, no, the reason why Abraham worked is because he believed. He believed is because God done something first. What God done first was tell him, you gonna have a child in your old age. It was the act of God that brought about the action of Abraham. It wasn't that he worked first, it's that he believed. When you know how good God has been before, then you'll do it again. I can't hear nobody here. When you sold the first time, and God blessed you like he blessed you, then you'll do it again. When you trusted God the first time, then you'll do it again. When you see the benefits of God's deliverance, then you'll do it again. I don't care who you invested in. When you know if you do right by God, you're going to reap. If you faith not, you'll do it again. Because you can't beat God's giving. The more you give, the more he'll give to you. So it's not action. It's I believe. Jesus said, blessed are they that are dead, though they believe, yes, shall they live again. So here's my close to the argument, to go back to my text, that when Lazarus died, he didn't work to come back to life. But Jesus said before he died, he believed, so I'll bring him back. I'm trying to help somebody here to know that the blind man didn't work to get his sight, but he believed. So James said faith without work is dead. I can't hear nobody here. Somebody with tubes hooked up to their body, laying up in the hospital bed, can't do nothing but believe God. They can't work to get their health back, but they believe. That's the benefit of getting a blessing from God. That I ain't got the offering you got, but I got the faith you got. Can I get the blessing you get? Because I got the faith you got. Open your belly and say, I believe. I almost feel it. So folk don't know it, and they keep telling you, well, faith without works is dead. But if you go back and you just study and go to school just a little bit, you're going to find out it's an argument. And he's saying, oh, vain man, how can you say that? So he's talking to Paul, but he's doing it subliminally through a text. And so you've used it, but you've used it out of context, because if it makes sense spiritually, it'll make more sense logically that I didn't work to get where I am. He just gave me favor. I can't hear nobody here. But the job you got, you just got favor. I can't hear nobody. That the promotion and the contract that just got signed, you got favor. You ain't that good, God is. You ain't got that much help. God got it. I can't hear nobody here. It's the greater one inside of you. If it was up to people, you wouldn't have what you have. You wouldn't be where you are. Open your mouth and say, God did it. God did it. I'm rolling. I'm going for it now. All right. Let me move down to the bottom part. When God is talking to Abraham, and Abraham is getting ready to make that sacrifice. Now he only do it, and now watch this, because listen, if it was works the first time, then he wouldn't have laughed, and his wife wouldn't have laughed, and he wouldn't complain when God said you're going to have a child.
Yeah, that's right.
So this time when God comes at him and tells him to give a sacrifice, he don't laugh. He don't laugh because he got proof that what God said came to pass. So it's not the work, it's the proof that God did what he said. You can be rich again. I can't hear nobody here. And you can do better the second time around. You just got to know that God did it before. Do it again. You intimidated by what you see and who you hanging around. They ain't got the faith you got. It ain't them, it's you. All God's money is on you. Talk, boy. I can't hear nobody. I don't care if your family is against you. He said, if I be for you.
That's right.
I'm going to preach like you like it. I'm working on it. Open your mouth and say, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. It goes down, it goes to the end. And God believes so much in Abraham that he says, wait a minute, you crazy. You really get ready to kill your only child who I gave you. You mean tell me you got that much faith you're going to take everything you love, everything you got, and you're going to give it up and put it on one word? That you're going to put everything you love on one word. That God told you something crazy in a vision, in a dream. Somebody prophesied to you, wasn't nobody around. You done made a mistake and got happy and told everybody you love and nobody believed in you, but you still going to do it on one word? You got thousands of people contending with you, the folk that are surrounding around you. Now you know they're there for the fish in the low, because look like when you're trying to do it, you ain't got nobody helping you do the thing. It looks like odds are working against your favor, but you're still doing it. That's because you're just as crazy as your God, that he gonna do a thing without nothing and without